Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the president of the Mar-a-Lago of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Gloating J. Trump. He's got the pose.
I know I was actually farting right there, but hello, tech stuff. Welcome back.
How's everything going this week? Everything good?
A rare repeat for a tech stuff guy. I think people were so pleased with how I destroyed Fauci last week that they said, "Okay, we'll have the tech stuff guy back." You didn't screw that one up.
Yes, that was a really great episode last week, Mr. President. A lot of fun. You two going back and forth. It was
Well, it
good.
was more, let's be honest. I mean, I almost felt bad for the guy I beat up on him so badly.
You did give him a rough time, but he had some quick comebacks. You don't think so?
No,
No.
and
So
you should probably watch it with that disrespectful tone.
there's no disrespect. I was just saying that
Oh,
he okay. Well, you
in the
really
words of failed
TKO.
actor, in the words of failed actor Bobby De Niro, you disrespected a little bit.
You say failed actor Bobby De Niro.
Yes,
Okay.
as a total loser.
There's a lot of stuff going on this week. Um, your boy BB. Have you spoken to him?
Tough BB. I've talked to him very strongly, and I told him, "Don't let the homos get you down."
It's
You're
not.
Israel. Excuse me. I said we have been very strong with the LGBTQ community in our country. As you know, Mike Pence was the first gay vice president in American history. So we have great respect for the LGBTQ. But when they're telling me that homos are throwing rockets at Great Israel, very strong country, I said, even if they like it, you send those rockets right up their ass.
It's not. It's not homos. It's Hamas.
You know what? You say potato, I say homo. And if they want to pronounce it a different way, that's okay. We'll respect the culture. You want me to say, okay, the homosexuals. We'll say the homosexuals are also a problem in Israel. Okay, we can say that. I'm not gonna let the left all of a sudden accuse me of being anti-LGBTQ because you're not pronouncing it right, sir. But Israel is they're a tough country, but they're fair. And I honestly, I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see coming from there. But you know what? You see how some of the gays, they get very fit, they get very strong, and you don't want them just running into your country and beating up your people. So when you have homos, or as they pronounce it, Hamas, uh, trying to destroy a tough nation, they got to get tough right back.
But I'm not even going to try to correct you. Do you know the New York Times though was trying to make it appear to that it's your fault for the Hamas and Israeli violence?
I've always spoken very strongly against violence, but sometimes you have to be tough. And even bringing up the fake New York Times, the failing New York Times is not something we do on this podcast. OAN, on the other hand, says we wouldn't even have this problem if I was still president.
I don't know. I don't watch OAN, so I'm really not sure about what.
It's a great news channel. They don't hire anybody over 25.
That's why you like it so much because they're so young.
It's young, dumb, and full of news.
Yeah, young, young, dumb, and full of news. Is that their slogan?
It also might be a title.
It might be. There's somebody to choose from already.
And I would even say we have some talented, artists among everybody thinks the artists are all with the left. We have very talented, and by the way, I think we should talk about at some time this episode. We got to make these Idaho militia. Did you see the strong T-shirt design?
I did see the strong
I
T-shirt.
think we got to get those made. I've never seen people wanting a T-shirt so bad in their lives. But the point is, what were we talking about?
The Idaho Christian Militia T-shirts.
Right before that, I have very
Hamas.
powerful ideas, and in between.
Oh, the news network, the young, dumb, and full of news.
That's them. Well, we got the point across. We like them. If somebody could make maybe an OAN, what do they call it? A Photoshop, where you go to
Yeah.
a store and you get the photo. So they call it a Photoshop. You
It's
get the, excuse me, you get the Photoshop, and you put some of the OAN anchors into a photo, and then you just put OAN, young, dumb, and full of news, and we would promote that very strongly, and probably get a cut of the profits for such a great ad campaign.
Do you really think that they're going to want their network being called dumb if they're a news network? I think that would just take away your credibility if you're young, dumb, full of news, but dumb before full of news kind of is not good promotion.
You know what dumb means in the traditional sense?
Please tell me.
That you can't talk. It used to, and now we think it's stupid, but it used to mean if you were deaf, you couldn't hear, deaf and dumb. Deaf can't hear, dumb can't speak. Well, with news, you don't want them to speak. You want them to be very powerfully reporting fair news. Like, here's the news. I'm not going to give you all sorts of nasty, far left opinions. I'm giving you the news. So to be fair, young, dumb, and full of news is a great idea, I think.
It's you're stretching a little bit, but I mean OAN, they are definitely
Well,
not a
I'm very, I'm
traditional.
very athletic, so I stretch a lot before I
I
golf.
I'm saying they're not a very traditional news network, so maybe they're into a non-traditional slogan. It's something to pitch to them.
Well,
How
we're going
come?
to pitch it, and
How
Mike
come you
Pence
don't
is
go?
going to catch it.
How come? How come you don't make more appearances on OAN?
We're looking into making, I want them to build up their brand a little bit more. I'm talking very strongly about them in press releases. We want them to get a little bit more of a great brand and maybe upgrade their equipment. Right now, they're using like camcorders from Kmart. But once they upgrade to powerful equipment, I'll happily go on there. And, Chanel Rion, who was their beautiful sort of Polynesian looking correspondent that I let into the White House, I used to call her young, dumb, and full of Trump. How do you
I don't
think
know.
she got in there? She didn't have strong journalistic credentials.
I don't know if that's a title, but
It's called we call that in our business a quid pro cum.
a quid pro cum. I never heard of that before.
That's Latin.
Oh,
I know very strongly Latin. And
you,
then when,
you speak
whereas if
Latin?
you're, I speak Latino, and I tell them not to come into our country.
That is true. But just getting back to the Hamas and Israel violence, when you spoke to Bibi, did he give you any inside information?
Well, BB Tough, we call him Tough BB, and he said, Mr. President, he has this very deep voice. Mr. President, I'm telling you right now, we're not going to back off of the homos. We are going to fight the homos very strongly, Mr. President. And I said, I like that, BB. I like that tough voice. I like that tough attitude. He said, he didn't take my advice. I said, first of all, what you have to do is close all the nightclubs so they don't have anywhere to feel good. And I also said, if you have HGTV, if you have the Oxygen network, the homos, you got to cut off the Oxygen or network. You got to cut it off. So he didn't take my advice, and I think you see the problems they're having now. I said close the gyms down so they can't work out because you're only helping them get fit. So he hasn't taken my advice, and you see there's tremendous violence on both sides. And, I think the blame is probably Sleepy Joe.
So we're going to blame Biden for the violence in Israel right now. What did he do?
Well, I'm going to
Why are we
blame.
blaming him?
Well, we're blaming Sleepy Joe, and we're blaming homos as well. I think look at it this way. You're a tech stuff guy. And do you remember any of these really sad, huge fights in Israel when I was president?
Mm-hmm.
Not like this.
Not like this. No.
Well, and that's because we had me, and I was very strong for Israel, but we also had Mike Pence, who was very strong for homos. And we presented a sort of strong, peaceful front. We had a pro-Israel president, but also a very strong homo vice president. And when you see when the Middle East saw that, homos, they're a terrorist group, but homos said, well, maybe we should let Trump figure this out because look, he's already got one of us in the group. And Bibi said, I think Donald Trump is very tough, and I'm going to be very strong for Donald Trump, and I will be patient and wait for what he thinks, and I will be very strong, and I'm tough, Bibi, but Trump is even tougher, sir. He said that. He called me sir.
So you guys are swinging both ways, basically.
You mean like golf?
No, more or less that you have both. You have the Israeli side taken care of when you were president, and then Pence has, instead of Hamas, the homo side taken care of, like you were saying. So you were on both sides of the fence, basically.
Oh, well, I was on one side of the fence, very strong and handsome on my side of the fence.
Okay. All right. Sorry to offend you about the side of the fence.
No, I'm not offended at all. I'm on the very strong heterosexual side of the fence.
Okay.
It's just where I am. We respect all fences. All fences matter. Except for that black play with Denzel Washington. That one doesn't matter.
You don't like that one? What was it called? Picket fence? It was just fences.
Just fences.
That's right. Wasn't there a movie also? Or am I incorrect?
Well, I'm talking about the movie. I don't see plays. Plays are stupid.
Okay.
Why do people go to plays? Oh, look, I'm standing in the middle of a theater, but I see, a bluebird in the tree, raping a cardinal. I'm a very great actor.
You're not a fan of live theater?
I'd like theater to be dead, especially Hamilton.
You're a fan of dead theater? Okay. Since everything's opening up, do you plan on attending any major sporting events this coming up summer? Or isn't the Olympics this summer? Are you making a trip to the Olympics?
Well, Shinzo invited me.
Did he?
He did.
Are you going?
We're thinking about it. Obviously, I want to show great respect to my, a lot of these leaders, they're so fake. But Shinzo, he was what we called a real one. I may go for a day, maybe see a couple of events.
What's your favorite summer events for the Olympics?
Well, the decathlon is a great one, which is where we watch Roger Stone's wife get plowed by 10 men. Okay. So I think that's a very talented event.
How did Shinzo pitch the idea of you coming to the Olympics?
Oh, well, not, how Shinzo is. You know our friend Shinzo.
I do know him.
Even when you gotta know him. You gotta know him so that he's not being angry. You gotta know that that's just the way he talks. Somebody, I remember Ivanka once got very scared around Shinzo. I was like, Ivanka, it's okay. He's just tough. He's strong. That's how he talks. But he called me and he said, Donald. And I said, Shinzo, what's going on? When are you going to come to Mar-a-Lago? And he said, Donald, we are Olympic. And I was like, okay, I get, because it's called focus. They're very disciplined people, and he's the most disciplined. That's how he became their president. So he said, we'll have the Olympics. You come 2 days. And he said I could pick which 2 days I wanted to go.
That's nice.
I said, I don't like the sprinting. I think you know why. I said, let's go see some shot putters with a hard R and the swimmers. You got to go see the swimmers.
Swimmers are good. Like the boxing? You're not a fan of boxing or the basketball?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to watch it for that.
Well, you can see me on TV probably with Shinzo at some of the swimming events.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be very exciting to watch you and Shinzo. And are you going to bring anyone in the family? Are you going to bring?
Well, no. When we go to see the swimming events, I'm going to say, Ivanka, they have a policy, no bras, and then we're going to sit in the front row like a Shamu splash zone, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, Ivanka, yeah. I can see your Olympic medals. Two bronze medals, and it's kind of cold in the pool.
Now, you started "Keep America Great Again." That was your slogan for your election, for your reelection, and your election. And the person who was one of the founders of "Keep America Great," um, he admits to swindling Trump fans out of money.
What a disgrace.
So you know nothing about this. You have no clue that he was doing this.
I'm They're like people who will say I'm the most honest businessman maybe ever. I don't know anybody who would steal. I would never steal from my supporters. I think that's a disgrace. I think he should be prostituted to the full extent of the law. I think he's obviously a horrible person. I don't know this person. I've never heard of this person, but if this is what he did, if he did what they say they did, he should be probably executed, so that he can never do it again or tell his story.
But he was helping you. He was helping you in your campaign. You had to know who he was,
I've
considering
never.
that's your slogan. You had to at least meet this person once or
So
twice
if
or
I go to Texas and there's somebody doing a podcast and somebody says, "Oh, are you the tech guy?" Oh, I guess you know them. I guess you're friends with all the people who say tech.
no. That's you're stretching it there. What I'm saying is that
Oh, I
he
go. Oh, excuse me. I go to Idaho Militia Christian Bible Technical School. Oh, you must know tech stuff, guy.
that's another stretch. This man was part of your organization. He helped raise funds for making making America great again. He was part of your slogan for your election and reelection. You had to know who this person was. You had
I have
so
no idea. Excuse me. I have no idea who this is. I would never steal from my supporters, and I would never allow anybody to work for me who would steal from my supporters. That's a Trump promise.
what's the difference between a regular promise and a Trump promise?
A Trump promise is stronger, tougher, and more handsome.
Okay. No, I know.
And if you don't know, now you know. And I think you know the next word. And I could say it because Kanye said I could.
Have you spoken to Kanye since the whole divorce thing went down?
Well, no, I spoke to Kim. I spoke to Kim very strongly. And she's not happy with me because I told her, if you want to come over, we can free some blacks. If and she did, but she's stupid. She didn't realize that I was not, even though I'm the real president, she didn't realize that they're not letting me into the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, okay, well, can you free, these two African Americans? And I said, not right now, darling, but thank you. Please get out, wipe up your chin, and get the hell out of here.
Wow. Because
Because we had
Kanye,
because we had
yeah.
McDonald's. I know how you sometimes think. We had McDonald's.
No, I figured you had McDonald's
It
and
can
she
be
had some
messy.
tartar sauce on her chin. I got it. Now, Kanye is usually always in the news. We haven't heard from him since the divorce. I'm surprised you haven't tried to drag him out and take him to Mar-a-Lago since you guys are such buddies. But you said you reached out to Kim. It's very surprising.
Well, Kim, we didn't do as well as we should have with women voters. We had record turnout for African American men, but we didn't do as great with the women. So I feel like by aligning with Kim, who's such an icon and such a role model to many whores around the country, that well, it's called smart politics. Okay, we have great Kanye supporters. We did better than basically any Republican has done in a while with black men. But for Kim Kardashian, I think we can tap into more women.
I understand. It's a good plan there. It's a very good plan. So you're
And I
just
mean,
preparing.
imagine how powerful it would be if all of a sudden in 2022 I announce Kim Kardashian will be my fourth wife.
You would get a lot more votes. I mean, she's almost as popular as you are, but not
I
quite.
mean, we had Melatonin who, dressed naked and sold herself on the black market So if we take it up a level and all of a sudden a Trump, Kim, not, and then you might get people confused. They think, oh, is Kim Jong-un there? And I'd say, nope, this is Kim Kardashian. And, we might throw an extra K on her luggage.
That would definitely get you more voters for sure. Now, before we get to the next news topic, Mr. President, we have a very important announcement. This Thursday, due to my wife is giving birth the last Thursday of the month, so we are going to do our live episode for our Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots, our live QAnon at 8 p.m. Thursday on May 20th. That is this Thursday, May 20th. I know you were speaking about possible impeachment. I don't know. You're thinking about it for the month. We will find out, I guess, on Thursday.
I think we want to get more into. I think we can put off Rudley with a hard R. Maybe he can prove himself on this episode as a capable, strong leader. But I think we need to hear. I'd like to hear this is an assignment. How about that for a Patreon Perfect 10 Patriots? I think Jeff Epstein, as we discussed briefly last week, apparently was very strong friends with Bill Gates, and that may have led to the divorce of the fake rich Gates couple. And I want to hear people's opinions on how should this affect the great Jeff Epstein's legacy. We're no longer calling him sir. We've temporarily revoked sir.
That's right.
Because of this potential. It's only it's like a suspension. It's not official. I think we need to, we'll discuss some news Thursday, but I think we really need to get some people's, and we'll do the question. We always answer the QAnon questions, but I think I want to get some people, including Rudley and Tom Fitzgerald. I'd like to hear their opinions on what the status of the great, but not the Sir Jeffrey Epstein should be.
Almost like a town hall meeting.
You know what? Because these are our greatest fans. And I think they should, they have shown great respect for Jeff Epstein, as they should. But, times change. And, look, Liz Cheney was once an anti-gay, psycho, strong Republican. And now she's just to be honest, if we're being honest, kind of a nice, thick blonde. But, all of a sudden wants to be against the greatest Republican president in history.
Well, check it out, everyone, for our Perfect 10. It's this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's May 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, for the live app QAnon for our Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots. And also to join the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. That's patreon.com/MPGA. Pick a level that's good for you. Now, we spoke about Bob Baffert.
And by the way,
yes.
one other thing is that in addition, we're going to have powerful movie reviews, of course, for the Ivanka level. We're going to have the Perfect 10. There'll be your exclusive video, all the great things we do every month for the Patreon. That if you're not a Patreon person, I don't know, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
But on top of that, and I think what might be one of the most special bonus episodes we've ever had, before your wife gives birth to your daughter, there will be a one-on-one text stuff, Trump, how to parent, girl dad, like a girl dad episode.
Right. I have a boy, so I don't know.
So I'm going to give incredibly strong, possibly intimate advice on how to be the best girl dad you can be. So I don't think people are going to want to miss that. We're going to be building, it's almost like we're going to be building new, we have the Fred Trump traditions, which everybody loves. This is going to be the first Donald Ivanka traditions that I maybe can pass on to you. So, if you're sort of a fan of the show, but pathetic and poor, you can only do the $5 level. There's like monthly episodes for you to check in on. You could go listen to like 20 bonus episodes and then get the Mother Trumper episode, the girl dad episode. It's going to be legendary.
The Mother Trumper. So check it out, everyone. Patreon.com/MPGA. As I was saying before, Bob Baffert, we spoke about him last week. He was recently suspended from entering any horses into the Belmont Stakes because he has a history of drugging his horses. Thoughts on it?
As somebody who has drugged whores in the past, I would say, I've learned from my past and I would not recommend doing it.
I said horses. Horses.
Well, you know what I called Stormy Daniels? Horseface.
I'm sure you've called her many horrible names.
But I did have sex with her, so I win.
Okay, you do win. So, Bob Baffert, do you agree with what I don't know what the horse committee is of all the horse racing? It's I don't know. We have the NBA, the NFL. I don't know what the horse league is called, but do you agree with their decision?
I would say they should suspend Joe Biden before they suspend Bob Baffert, but I think Bob Baffert has to go as well. I think he's a disgrace. But I would have banned Sleepy Joe Biden for creating a country where horses are now doing opioids and cocaine and who knows what else.
Well, you just brought up Sleepy Joe, and there's a news story about him that
Is he sleepier?
no, he is giving money to families like a stimulus check kind of thing monthly to families who make under $150,000 a year.
You know what this
And
is? You know what this is? And I don't mean to keep plugging the Patreon. He's stealing the Fred Trump traditions. You know how on many of our traditions we would take poor single mothers and give them opportunities to make a lot of money. You remember we would have bums fight on like Thanksgiving or Halloween. I don't even remember, but we
right,
would do so much for the poor. And I think Sleepy Joe listens to the Patreon, or like, yeah, Kamala, Koala Bear Harris listens and then tells him these are great ideas. So you basically have Sleepy Joe Biden who doesn't know what he's doing. And now he's gone too far. He's stealing Trump traditions.
he might be, but I think this is good for the
You
American
know,
people who
the great Fred Trump and oh, hello, Oksana. You're new to the country. Well, you're very hot. I see you have two kids and you're alone and you're 25. Why don't you come to Trump Tower and, you can earn $150,000 tonight if you play your cards right.
when you're getting money for each. If you have two kids, you're getting money for each child. If you have one child,
And
you're
as
yeah.
people
So
may remember from, I forget, it might have been the Mother's Day episode from
I,
last year, but it was, yes, if you let us do it while your kids watch, you get bonus money. You get bonus money if you let us do it to you and scar your kids. Now, I can't talk about it anymore because we've kept this very exclusive for the Patreon people. But obviously, Sleepy Joe's not keeping it exclusive. He's trying to steal our ideas, and it's a total disgrace. And anybody who doesn't agree, you can leave the show because this is too far, because now it's personal. It's one thing if he wants to steal my vaccine and get people healthy and claim fake credit. But when you start taking the great Fred Trump traditions and trying to turn them into policy and not giving credit, it's time to wake up, Joe, because I have to put you to sleep like a horse with Bob Baffert. Bars.
oh, there's another thing that Sleepy Joe is doing. Since we have so many vaccine doses here, he is actually sending over 20 million
With a Y, it's me and
million vaccine doses overseas. That's nice of him.
oh no, it's very it's great. We have homos taking over Israel. We're giving vaccines to everybody. We don't even have a country. We don't even have a country left.
How do you figure that? I think that's doing something nice for the world. The U.S. used to
Oh
do a
no,
lot of
very
things that are
nice.
nice for the
Oh
world.
no, very nice, very nice. Hello, we're weak. We're the United States under Sleepy Joe Biden. In fact, we're taking a nap. So why don't you take our vaccines?
No, we're giving them. No one's stealing them.
And then the next time we don't give them, they're going to say United States is weak. Let's take them.
I mean, I think you're stretching that a little bit. That is a possibility, of course, but
Ronald Reagan had a philosophy called peace through strength. You ever heard this term? Peace through strength, meaning oh, there's going to be peace because you're going to respect our strength. I had a phrase called strong through strength, which is, which is even better because there's no peace involved. It's just you're strong through strength. Sleepy Joe has a policy which is called weakness through sleep.
It's gonna be so hard to choose a title this week.
We should put out like alternate album titles. Like we'll just put the podcast out 3 times under the different. How Time Magazine will put out different covers. We should have different titles.
The last piece of news this week, Mr. President, I know you are against cancel culture. I wanted to know what you thought of this. This happened in Connecticut. A Connecticut teen was arrested for posting a picture of another student on Snapchat with, and didn't say what racial slur, but there was a racial slur with it. And he was actually arrested for this. He was arrested for this, for putting a racial slur on a Snapchat video in Connecticut. What are your thoughts on this with cancel culture? Do you think is that too out of control, or kids should not be doing that to other kids and being racist like that?
First of all, I think we use racist too often. I think we say things are racist too much. What I also think is Connecticut doesn't surprise me that they're cancel culture because they canceled one of the C's in Connecticut. You notice how we're saying Connecticut? That's how. And then when you try to spell it, Microsoft Word with sleazy Bill Gates,
Yes.
it corrects it and it throws an extra C. Connecticut. When you spell it, it looks like Connecticut. So they're not even allowing C. They're canceling the C in their own name. So it's not a shock that they're that they're pro cancel culture. They can't even allow their own words to have letters. I think this is a disgrace. I think those police officers, those are the types of police officers that I wish would get attacked by patriotic, peaceful protesters. The ones who come and arrest young people who are just using their First Amendment.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on this. I don't think children should be with social media. You're basically taking this child. Everyone in the school is going to see it, and I don't know if you go as far as arresting the child, but I think he should get in trouble. You shouldn't condone racist behavior.
I think whoever reported it should get arrested. I think the police should get suspended. And I think this guy should be able to visit Mar-a-Lago and be given a strong award.
So you want to give an award to the Connecticut teen who posted the racial slur on Snapchat? What award would you give him?
It would be the Donald J. Trump Outstanding Courage Award.
Okay. So you think it's fine with what he did?
I think it's great what he did. I don't think it's just fine. I think he's showing strong free speech. I don't know what the slur was, but I'm sure whoever he said it about had it coming. And we applaud him for being a strong freedom, liberty person.
Okay, so can I ask you this? Let's say this person was arrested, was maybe black or Asian, and he posted a picture of a white student and made racial slurs against the white student. Should now this student who posted on Snapchat, this black or Asian student, still be rewarded and with the Courage Award at Mar-a-Lago?
When you told that story, I already could see the black student had something in his hands and he was just shot by police in my imagination. So I can tell you right now, he'd be lucky to get arrested because he was very threatening. And as far as the Asian student, uh, we would talk to him and we would get to the bottom of it. And, if it turns out, I think that's what they don't talk about with Stop Asian Hate. What about all the Asians that are being hateful? That's what it should be.
You know what they're doing in New York? They're giving out free defense classes to Asian people because of this Asian hate.
even though they already know kung fu.
I know that's what I was thinking. They should be teaching the classes, but they are giving out these classes to every Asian
And that's
person
and
that
that's why China is beating us so badly under Sleepy Joe. They're now getting free classes for things they already could do better than us.
either they're
Under
sitting there at the
under
class like,
Sleepy Joe, we will be giving breakdance classes to African Americans, and we will be giving being attracted to Donald J. Trump classes to women. Right? It's everything people already get.
I guess you are right about it. So I just find it strange that if the teen was of a minority making fun of a white person, you would treat him differently than if it was a white person making fun of a minority.
No, I don't think I was treating it any differently.
What do you mean? You said if the black student came to Mar-a-Lago, he's already gotten shot because you think he has something in his hand.
All right. The white student didn't have anything in his hand except for Snapchat.
Okay. Well, I guess that's settled. Mr. President,
I don't settle lawsuits.
you win them.
Yes.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for your time again this week. And thank you to all the listeners out there. Check out betonline.ag and make your bets for the playoffs for NBA and NHL. And join the Patreon because our live episode is this Thursday, plus a bonus episode coming out on Monday. That's patreon.com/MPGA. The live episode is this Thursday, the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's Thursday night. And the bonus mother Trumper
Well,
will
the girl dad episode. It's going
yes,
to
that'll
be
be recorded
legendary.
a week from it'll be up next Sunday night. It'll be up. And that's it for me. Mr. President, you have any announcements before we leave?
I do have a few strong announcements. Hey, everybody, it's JL. Please go check out Righteous PK Podcast, my other podcast that's weekly. And just right now, a couple of big shows. I have a show actually, I'm sorry, Wednesday night at Broadway Comedy Club in New York City at 8 p.m. Joe Pontillo's show. It's only $5 cover. So if you're in New York, come to that. Otherwise, two big shows for me in June. June 10th, Hartford Funny Bone, huge show for me. And then June, I want to say 18th and 19th, I'm opening for Roy Wood Jr. at Governor's in Long Island. So those are all big shows for me. None bigger than Hartford, but wherever you can come. And I'm adding shows all the time to my calendar. So just make sure you're, checking my website or subscribe to my monthly newsletter. Thank you very much. And should I just close it out now? God help us all.